And what is this dream? What is this dream beyond the South African borders?
You know what? I think it's really just following the opportunities that comes to me. And from there, the Americas started knocking. I mean, being able to dress powerful women like Lizzo.
It's
got such a beautiful story as well, and stands for such beautiful things. And Cardi B, and just like
Hi, Chef. How are you?
Fine, and you?
Welcome to Previdar Couch. Thanks so much for gracing us with your presence. I know you've been busy. We're just talking now that you were studying. Tell us about your studies.
Yes, I was studying in Florence, Italy for the last three and a half months.
Right.
Really the art of making great designer bags. I think my brand has grown so much through the last few years, and it's really time for me to elevate it to the next level.
Sure.
Giving my customers something that is on an international level, and which better place to do that than the heart of leather, which is Italy.
How was that like?
It was so nice. I think it was nice also just to take a break from work. Of course, I did keep on working digitally, but also just to remove me from my normal surroundings and go somewhere else and learn a completely new craft.
And get re-inspired.
And just really see what else is possible.
Sure. Let's talk about the growth that you've experienced in the last couple of years. Did you anticipate it? Did you work before that for it? You know, when it happened, you're like, yeah, I knew it's going to happen. I've been working towards this.
Well, of course, we've been working so hard. I was like, it better happen, demanding it from the universe. But you know what? You always hope kind of for things to go well. And I'm so blessed that I have such a great team around me that things always just kind of like go so well for me.
Sure. You're such an inspiration when it comes to fashion. But who inspires you?
You know, I think my biggest inspiration is the people around me, my staff. My mother she's always such a great inspiration to me. But I think it's just so nice to be inspired by the women of South Africa, the people that actually make the clothes, the people that wear the clothes. Just to be surrounded by such a beautiful South African story of everybody kind of coming from the same place and working to the same goals. I think that for me is so inspiring.
Let's take it back a couple of years when you started, right? What inspired you to even want to do fashion? Why was fashion a thing for you?
It wasn't like even a thing. It was a calling. I didn't have a choice, you know? I started doing fashion from as young as 6 years old. So for me, it was definitely a little fashion designer that my parents bred, and we always knew it was going to be Gert, and we kind of just had to find the proper education and the right opportunities.
So your family did support the
100%. They're still my biggest fans.
What is the bigger dream? I mean, now you're moving, you know, now we're on bags. You know, look at this. Hey,
this was made with my own hands. This is actually inspired by my grandmother.
Okay.
You know,
yes, I see it.
Another powerful woman in my life, and she had a bag that was a similar shape.
Right.
And she always used to have candies in them. So these gold kind of buttons represent all the little candies, the sparkles of joy inside her bag. And
you're not going to give that back to anyone?
I'm actually making them. So I made this one as the first sample, and now I am manufacturing them in South Africa.
Oh my God. So the stories are pretty, okay, I'm going to go back to the other question. Your stories are pretty personal, right? Does everything that you create carry a personal story to it?
You know, with art and creating something, I think that's the purpose why we are on earth, is to create. And just to create for the sense of creating doesn't have purpose. You have to have a story and a reason behind something to give it meaning. If I tell you this is a bag that I picked up from the streets, and you'll think one way about it, but when I give you the whole synopsis
I just went like this
about my grandmother and how I made it with my own hands, that creates a beautiful story around it, and now it's got meaning and purpose, and now it's art. And I think art is everywhere, and everywhere is art. So it's really about just bringing across that.
Sure. Building a brand beyond the South African borders, right? Was that difficult? Are you achieving what you have envisioned? And what is this dream? What is this dream beyond the South African borders?
You know what? I think it's really just following the opportunities that comes to me. We started in South Africa, then Nigeria came knocking. And when Nigeria came knocking, it kind of like created a train effect to the rest of Africa. And from there, the Americas started knocking. I mean, being able to dress powerful women like Lizzo.
Has
got such a beautiful story as well, and stands for such beautiful things. And Cardi B, and just like the Oprah Winfrey's, just being able to have the clothes, the ideas in my mind come to life on such powerful people is mind-blowing.
If you would describe the place that you find yourself now in life, that is, right, in your career, let's mix the two, how would you describe it?
I think it's really on a place of self-discovery and development. I think we never finish with the art piece that's ourself. And that is really what I wanted to bring across with my new collection, my digital collection, where I was inspired by the strokes on a canvas and how every stroke is so unique. And that is true with each person, and really bringing out that uniqueness in each of us. And when we live our lives, we kind of like paint our own canvas. And that's why I wanted to use all these bright brush strokes, because each of them are so individual, and not one will be the same ever again. And that is really about ourselves and the woman that wears the clothes, to bring through that individuality in each person.
Now, being an individual and embracing it, you can be misunderstood, right? Have you ever found yourself in that position where I'm just not being understood? And did you care? I mean, I'm saying that so loosely. Did you care?
You know, I think it's also about people don't know they need something until you show them what they need. So it's really what it is about. The art of fashion is you create, and then you put it out there, and people then respond to it, and then they realize, oh my goodness, I had this gap in my wardrobe that had just filled. And I think really being misunderstood is one thing, but also putting the ego aside and being open to collaborate with people also makes a big difference to being understood. I think if you're going to run off on your own tangents and really lean into your own ego and thinking me, myself, and I is the only person that's right, you're going to have a big problem. And being open to collaborate, being open to opinions, learning from them is really what makes you different.
Sure. So you just mentioned your collection. Tell me about your collection. I'm so excited.
So this season, what I wanted to do is I wanted to create a mood and really a feeling of where I'm going for summer. My winter collection is all being made as we speak. So that's super exciting. And that is in the bag. But now it is summer in about 4 or 5 months. So I want to kind of like showcase what I'm planning. And I wanted to do it in a South African and African first by creating the first African AI collection. So it's completely done. Everybody, at the moment I dropped it, Minnie is phoning me, this person's phoning me, they want it, they want it, they want it. And I keep telling them it's not real. It is a complete digital collection. The model is not real, the clothes are not real. Everything was created on a computer by AI specialists to really bring across the paint strokes that I wanted, bring across the hair, the makeup, the punk rock, pop culture look and feel that the hat brand is about. And now we can see that, we can get feedback, and from that point, I create the actual collection that will be on shopgert.com.
And it's only going to be in summer, right?
It's only going to be in summer, but I want to tell the story about painting our own canvas, and I think I'm going to start with it, or I have started with it now in winter. And then it's going to lead all the way through to December, and really showing different kinds of it, because people sometimes think that their perspective is the only perspective. And when it comes to a collection, my perspective cannot be the only perspective. So there's going to be so many different angles to the story that I'm telling about individuality, about embracing ourselves, really about embracing African culture, and really taking it into a different way where we have fabrics. I mean, my winter stuff is made from beautiful mohairs. It's really exquisite fibers, so that it is a great quality that can go into any shop worldwide, and it can stand right there next to all the other top designers and stand out.
So this is not only just about fashion for you, it's all about changing someone's life.
Yes, definitely.
It's always been your motto. Why did you want to even incorporate that part into fashion?
I think when it comes to educating, I think in Africa we need to really focus on educating everybody, with every opportunity that we get. And when we are speaking or trying to teach somebody something, a new perspective, we kind of get bored and people kind of lose attention. But when we create a conversation piece, like I've done with the HIV virus many years ago, where I kind of made an artist's impression of the virus through a microscope, and really printed that on garments and created a conversation piece, I feel like it travels so much further than just slapping a red ribbon on somebody's chest. You know?
So to wrap everything up, from your inspirational story, being a public figure, is it difficult? Is it easy? And what would you like somebody to learn from your story, you know, of carrying yourself? I mean, you're a public figure. We all learn from you. What is it one thing that you want people to learn from you?
You know what? I think the one thing that I always get taught every day is really just to find that fire and that passion inside of you, and let it burn and really just go for what you want and what you believe in. I think really it's when you're creating with art and purpose, the world is your canvas and you can just really go paint it any color you want.
Sure. Are you always this inspirational? I've never spoken to Gert where you are sad or down. You just always up. Like, are you always like this?
You know what? I think I'm a very positive person.
Right.
I'm a very grateful person.
Sure.
I constantly in my mind, I'm just always so blown away by what's happening to me in my life. Every morning I wake up and there's an email from this person that I've always wanted to dress in the States. And it's like, is this really me? And then when that happens to you, you cannot be ungrateful. You cannot really lean into the negativities. You have to be so thankful for what God has given you.
Sure. Thank you so much, Gert.
Thank you.
As usual, you're always inspirational and it's lovely having you here.
And you look so beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.